Hi, welcome back to Confessions from Angels. And this is a March 2020 reading for our Earth signs, our Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorns. And I kind of divided our reading up. It's a big read. I pulled 63 cards for you. So we have a little bit of everything going on. It seems to kind of spill over from the heavy energy that we saw back in February, unfortunately. The universe now is just saying, look, you guys need to resolve these situations, and it's going to give you a little bit of a nudge, I feel. All right, so you might not have too much of a choice in March to make the decision, but it is asking you to make the right one. And you had that opportunity, I think, at the end of last year, and I don't think somebody did. So we're hoping you learned your lessons this time around, because there's another decision to be made. Yeah, so we start off with mental conflict, all right, and we move into the choose wisely and feeling trapped. So these three cards are definitely the current energy for the beginning of March. And this is about the inability to move forward. Well, you're trapped, all right? You feel that you're trapped in fear. There's also self-doubt going on, all right, and a little bit of indecisiveness. So this cards indicate that the only way you're going to have a sense of mental relief, if you will, from this contact is to act, okay? To finally make that choice that needs to be made, okay? Because not being able to take action towards a person, or it could be a group or a situation, is going to start to affect your health. And wouldn't you know it, I pulled the bad health card. Yeah, so we're going to get into a little bit more on that and the trapped in fear, because this is really starting to affect you. And I'm a little concerned, especially since I pulled four cards with some type of mental conflict going on. So the choose wisely just basically says, look, you need to have the courage. Okay, and I pulled the strength card. And don't worry about the assistance, because you've got your intuition, you have friends, you have family, you've got me, you have your angels. But it says here, to make all the right decisions, you need to listen to your intuition this time. And I'm loving that I pulled the third eye chakra, and I also pulled the high priestess. This is all about intuition. So I have a feeling the universe is like, look, you went to your friends in the past, because I didn't pull the ask friends cards. It actually says ask your angels and use your own intuition. I don't think it wants you going to family or friends this month to figure this out. You need to go within. All right, I think I did pull the Hermit card a little bit later on for a little bit of soul searching. But yeah, in order to choose wisely, in order to have that peace and harmony, listen to your own intuition, okay? Because you have too many choices, and your energy is just a little too scattered. And quite frankly, it sounds like you might have unrealistic expectations as well, on both ends, actually. So the card, reminds us that, you think you don't have any influence, or somebody else has influence over you, okay? You don't have any power. And this card actually indicates that you do. You have the power to make your own decision, your own choice. Okay, the only thing we're worried about you is screwing that up. Okay, so what we mean is that, if you think that, if you have an unrealistic expectation, all right, well, you know what, you want a Victoria's Secret model, or you want to date a guy who's, a millionaire. Well, that's part of the 1%, and that also comes with consequence too, and things of that nature. Or you may think that you chose the right person, but you went too fast, and guess what? You're stuck with that person for the wrong reasons, and you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this person was really like this. All right. Or you met through somebody else, and they're like, well, he's single, she's single, they're in the same industry, let's introduce them. And sometimes having too much in common with someone creates a little bit of, well, that's how you get bored, because it's the same old, same old. So we're going to tell you how to spice things up in a little bit in our sexy portion of the program tonight. But yeah, so when you choose wisely this time, let's take a more intellectual approach towards this, and break things down and take inventory, and think about the lessons we learned, and really think about what you want moving forward. Okay, and don't make it based on emotions. Oh, somebody dumped me, I'm going back to my safety net, because that's a false sense of security and a misguided safety as well. Okay, so when you make a decision, never make it out of despair or regret or revenge or impulse, because it never ends well when that happens. Okay, because now you're trapped in fear, and the universe is saying, guess what, you have to face that fear, and because it's preventing you from making progress, moving forward, making decisions. All right, and the only thing that you've got going for you about this is that we're in Mercury in retrograde. So I personally recommend that you don't move at all this month. All right, because nobody should be starting anything new or ending anything in Mercury in retrograde. Okay, so I think you're going to be free and clear probably after, March 17th. Definitely in April, you're going to be out of that shadow period, and everything is going to be, blue skies, and, the sun will be out, if you will. So right now, yeah, and this Mercury in retrograde is kicking everybody's behind. It's been aggressive. It's been more aggressive than what we're all accustomed to. So yeah, hang in there, because you're trapped in fear, and probably one of the worst astrological cycles we've been in, some of us ever. And it's sitting next to the coffin, which is the equivalent of the death card, saying that what, it's time for growth, it's time for change, it's time to liberate yourself and to transform. All right, and it's telling you, use your intuition a little bit more. Okay, use your own third eye and be watchful. All right, because somebody is still wearing a mask, and you're still going to be manipulated throughout March. This shenanigans is still going on, but don't worry. I got word tonight that the universe is closely watching your other half, and making sure that they're giving them one last warning to surrender to God, and to walk away, or there is going to be consequence. Because right now you have a misguided sense of safety being where you're at, but you're also miserable too. So it's kind of like love on one hand and resentment and fear on the other end, right? Because you're too afraid to start anything new. But staying is only going to add to levels of your stress, add to your anxiety. And what happens when that happens? Well, it affects your health. And guess what I pulled? This is going to start affecting your health. And they don't need magic to do it this time, because your stress and anxiety is doing it all on its own. But towards the end of the month, it looks like you have success, because your final outcome was material and harvest. All right. And this is all about mastering sufficiency. What does that mean? Well, you became independent all on your own. And this is male energy here. So I'm loving this. You're going to make your own security. You're going to, prosper in all areas of your life, but only after learning all of those lessons. So for me, this is kind of an equivalent to the world, where all those lessons are learned and you have that happy outcome. And it indicates that, the universe says, look, you're going to reap what you sow. And if you master, self-sufficiency, if you drop all that codependent, behaviors, if you become a little bit more independent, have you ever lived on your own or done anything by yourself? Once you do that, all right, then you can celebrate. All right, and the universe is going to reward you for it because this card indicates celebration of a completion of projects, completion of a cycle. All right, and think about what you want to do next. Because once you learn how to conquer all of this fear and the mental conflict, not letting people manipulate you, learning to see through people's masks, who's not being honest with you, why? Well, you're using your intuition more. And you're learning all the lessons from the past because you know not to choose certain people under certain circumstances, right? And now you know that, hey, I can depend on myself. And if I can do that, if I can also read people and not be manipulated, right? Boy, doesn't that give you an edge in life? You can conquer the world with that type of attitude and skill level, quite frankly. So that to me is very empowering. All right, mastering your mental conflict. It's sitting literally right next to the strength card, which is all about inner strength to get over this feeling of feeling trapped because somebody thinks that they've got the power and influence over you, probably because maybe they've got the money in this particular situation, because it does indicate here that somebody hasn't been working for a while. All right, but I also pulled an opportunity card, so opportunity, it's on its way. The scale is going to be tipping to your favor this month, which is great. All right, so just prepare yourself mentally, get your ducks in a row. All right, because the universe is going to reward you for any hard work you do on yourself and for your life and for your future. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. So our confirmation cards was the strength card. Okay, this is all about inner strength and conquering, demons, because you're feeling regretful and sad and remorseful that, this relationship didn't work out. Maybe the job didn't work out and you're regretful and emotional about that, which that's completely understandable because that's your financial well-being. All right, but look at what's sitting behind you. Opportunity. I have a feeling this is related to relationships, though, because the Judgment card in this particular deck, it is about ending cycles and awakenings, and but it's also about somebody who was too judgmental or you're too judgmental. All right. And this is also about decision making. Well, isn't that what this whole thing is about, is to make that big decision again? All right, let's try not to make the one that we made at the end of last year, because I was pulling this Choose Wisely card and the Judgment card, and that's about karma, reaping what you sow, and that's what that card indicated as well. But it also indicated that you learned your lessons. You're not going to make a decision based on emotions. You're not going to make it out of desperation or codependency. You're going to be independent. You're going to be sufficient all on your own. And then the universe rewards you, because now you can go into that next relationship with the experience of making those decisions in the bad, seeing people for who they are once you meet them, and you're never going to be manipulated by anyone again. They're never going to have that power and influence over you. Why? Because you have it over yourself. And you're going to find someone that is your equal, and you're going to have that peace and harmony at home. But in order to do that, all right, try not to be too judgmental, all right? Because this does indicate that you will have a new beginning, but you are going to have to defend yourself. You're going to have to be strong. Yes, this says, emotionally, because you're going to have to stand up for your beliefs this time. All right, because notice how we told you to ask the angels for help and to use your own intuition. Well, that's because you're worried about your reputation. You may have even, this mask may also indicate that you were trying to be the perfect family here, and everybody thought everything was great, but they weren't. So now you're worried about what people are going to think. Well, come on. This is part of life. The Seven of Wands is just saying, look, you've got to stand up for what you believe in. Have your own mental strength to hold your own. Make that decision and overcome any conflict that comes your way, because you will never feel trapped again. And the High Priestess is just our female energy. And this is about emotions again. And that's the water. And then the Moon, which is about illusions. All right. And, but this is also, this card I like because it's kind of giving you a little bit of insight on how you become self-sufficient and independent. This card is saying, look, you have to be efficient, all right, precise, analytical, critical, but not too overcritical. But it also says not, be careful about being too much of a perfectionist, right? Because we talked about having, certain expectations. But you also are looking for something that's intellectually stimulating. Intellect over emotion always works. I've been saying that my whole life. All right. And personally, I can attest to that. So, use good conversations, maybe read some books, self-help, whatever. And the person maybe that you're looking for in the future is somebody that you can have a conversation with, all right? Or somebody that wants to listen to you and you're intellectually stimulating, okay? Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. But it also says be careful. You always want what you can't have, so don't go after something that is unattainable because we pulled something earlier that says that something was unattainable as well. So that old you can't, you want more what you can't have. If you have straight hair, you want curly hair. If you've got brown hair, well, you want to be blonde, whatever. So just be careful of that energy as well. Because once you have all this together, you're going to be at a great vantage point because the Three of Wands is all about, look, you're standing on your own. You can see everything with perfect, perspective. You're not letting your emotions get the best of you. And now you can move forward and make that right decision. And that's amazing to see. Our ending confirmation cards is that this month is going to be all about forgiveness. Let music help heal you, okay? And use it for synchronicities as well. You are going to have a relationship change and a rebirth of your life. Love it. Other confirmation cards are, well, it didn't work out and you've got this mental conflict and you're trapped in fear because there's unrequited love. There just wasn't enough chemistry to keep this relationship going. That doesn't mean that this person's not attractive or skinny or has a nice body. Well, their personality just didn't click with yours. Or somebody grew and somebody else didn't grow. Either way, it's just too one-sided at this point. It's beyond repair. And it is asking you that it's time to clear the energy, release each other. And I mentioned, was it this video at the beginning? I was listening to another reader, and she was talking about how literally the divine is asking a lot of these people in March to surrender, give it to God. If it's meant to be, especially if it's a spiritual connection, they're going to give it to you on a silver platter, the way it was intended to be, at the time it was supposed to be. And if it doesn't come to you, well, that wasn't a spiritual connection, and it wasn't meant to be. And then you can ask and him to call in your soulmate or somebody else to open you up. But it's just going to cause more grief. And yeah, there are children involved. That's probably why there's mental conflict and you're trapped in fear because you're worried about how this is going to affect the children. Well, one of the great lessons that I have learned over the years is, I'm looking at it's above a separation card, is, it teaches them that change is good. Right? That it's not so scary to move on and to try something or someone new. Now, what I like about this kid situation, I don't want to get too preachy about this, and the choose wisely card is, we think it's all about you, right? We talked about picking a Victoria's Secret model over a millionaire. Well, really, you got to worry more about the kids here. You don't want them, being under an influence of somebody who's too young for you, and that's going to be weird for them as they grow older. You don't want somebody who's, competitive or a little nutty because they just came from an unstable situation. So they're going to need a good, stable situation moving forward. You want them to go from one home to the next and look forward to coming over and having good energy and a positive atmosphere where they can, have conversations with your new partner as well. And I can relate to that because I've got, step parents, and I really did luck out. My parents both chose somebody else who are terrific. And, we really enjoy our step parents, and it didn't make anything weird. It kind of added to it because then I gained, a whole nother side of a family. And everybody kind of cohabitates well together. So yeah, when you're an adult, you have to make those choices, and they affect children, but you know what, it doesn't have to be, as bumpy and as toxic as some of this is made out to be. Okay, they want what's best for you too. They don't want to see arguing or unrequited love because they pick up on that too, and that leaves scars as well. And it teaches them that love is not something that they can trust, or marriage is all about fighting or cheating or lying or whatever. You want them to know that, look, if you make the right decision, you won't have to worry about being trapped or having mental conflict. But it's all about, life lessons and being wise. And that's beautiful. Because it's saying, look, and this, we're going to come back to this because right now this is a little out of order. This worth waiting for is really the energy over here where it says to slow down, and the next relationship you're in, pump the brakes. Get to know each other, take things slow, or wait. and in divine timing, everything is going to work out for you. All right. So, just a little bit of a side note, in March, you do still have a stalker, probably your ex, or a karmic, that's checking you out. Someone's still wearing a mask. I still think that, and trying to manipulate you. All right, and that's sad. If you did lose employment, you can see my notes. I always write a ton of notes because I had 63 cards here, and intuitively I came up with some really important information to pass along with everybody. But, there is going to be an opportunity this month for you. That was the confirmation card for the person who is not working. But again, be careful. You have some bad health issues still lingering, okay? We know there's a separation going on. Be careful. Somebody still has the evil eye for you, all right? And, don't worry about your reputation. And don't be impatient about moving forward and jumping into something new right away. It's okay to take your time. All right? Because, the cards are indicating that there will be a peaceful resolution. This is your March outcome, so that's good. There is going to be something better or someone for you, and that's amazing. But in the meantime, you do need to get more information. Ask your angels or your intuition, because we talked about that, and that is just confirmation. Compromise is going to be needed, though, in order to have that peaceful resolution, okay? So everyone's going to have to get along and be adults, or the courts are going to decide for you. We're going to get into what this not the right time is. That is actually, we have a confirmation card down in our next section of our love reading. And a year from now, nothing is going to look the same. It's going to be amazing. All right. So, we're going to get over all this mental conflict, because once you get rid of all that and you do make the right decision, you still have all that healing to do. This isn't all just, okay, bye, see ya, and then, you move on to greener pastures. You do have to heal and take things in and process it and learn from those mistakes, and say, okay, what's next? Because I got this. Because you're that strong mentally, and I think that's great, because right now, this is the energy. What we want is that energy. And a year from now, you're going to have that. Love it. All right, so what's going on with your love life in March after we get rid of all of the heartbreak? Well, there is going to be a new beginning with someone new. All right. And the card is basically just saying, look, take your time, let this relationship evolve. There's no rush. And this card, just a few cards down, is telling you, look, and this is the Knight of Pentacles, which is great because that is our earth energy. Is don't take that fruit before it's too ripe. Don't offer it before it's too ripe, and don't take it before it's too ripe. Everyone's going to have a sour taste in their mouth, and we're going to be right back into this cycle. The lessons keep coming until the lessons are learned, right? So the Three of Wands, is about kissing, and wanting things. You want this new relationship to kind of feel the way you felt at the beginning of your last relationship. Not to compare, but you're wanting things to go back to the way they were prior to when they weren't great, right? To rediscover that feeling of love. And you've been through this emotional conflict and bad health situations and manipulation, and maybe you lost your job and you weren't working, and fear, and you just want to get back to feeling good about yourself and having a little passion in your life, and having a good makeout session, because I hate to say it, but this card is all about kissing. And it's sitting next to the Hermit. All right, now we all know what the Hermit is about. This is usually, and believe it or not, this is about divine timing. And didn't we pull this card here saying, look, there's a right time and place for all of this. If you give it to God and surrender, they will deliver to you, I promise, on a silver platter. And man, are they good at orchestrating things. And you'll be in awe of how amazing and beautiful and less complicated. And it's like a soft, gentle landing on an airplane. You come flying in, and just a nice smooth landing. And trust me when I tell you, you can trust God. You can trust your angels. And I know that for a fact. Okay. And plus it takes all that worry off of you when somebody else who has better powers and higher powers than we do, can take control of things, and they're willing to do that for you, and it's free. The divorce is expensive, but asking the divine for help, that's free. And it's amazing. All right. So don't rush things. This card's also saying, again, don't rush your new beginning with somebody new. All right. Just another confirmation of divine timing and to take things slow. And again, don't rush it with things, prematurely, because I did pull the impatience card here, which indicates somebody definitely is gonna want to get things going again. Well, it's because you've been in heartbreak for how long? This card is also, I hate to say it, another confirmation of surrendering. All right, let these two people be. So we have the stalker card here, right? And we have the stalker looking right there at these other two people who started this new relationship. It's right above a card. The card above is saying that you have a new beginning with someone. And this card is just indicating to, sacrifice your wanting to be with this person in order to find your own happiness. And that's one of the hardest things in the whole world to do. And this is on the other person's energy, by the way, the one that you're releasing. All right, because all of you have this mental conflict and you're trapped in fear. They're probably trapped of losing you and you're trapped of leaving. But this card is like, look, just surrender. All right, let us take care of it. Otherwise, we're going to take care of it for you. But this opens yourself up to who and what you're meant to be. Okay, letting somebody have their own happiness will guarantee you your happiness. And this card here says that you're going to reap what you sow, and the universe is going to reward you if you do the right thing. So there you go. That's some good advice too. All right, so these next two cards, look at who's in the background. Look at who's in the background, because these two cards are about trying new experiences with this new person. Okay, and this card here at the beginning of the month says you better choose the right partner correctly. You know, obviously you're horny. You probably want to get it on, but the devil's just waiting for you to screw up again. All right, and he's right there looking for you. So it says here, you can have, new experiences outside of your daily routine. All right, and try open yourself up to something and someone new, but within reason. Sitting right above cards saying, look, take it slow. Don't get too crazy, all right, because there are consequences. I think we already learned that lesson, right? This card is about not being a selfish lover, ironically enough. All right, so yeah, we have the unrequited love here. Don't we have enough one-sidedness? So the new person, don't be so one-sided. All right, it reciprocates anything that she does for you. You're gonna have to do for her, because this card is all about being a selfish lover. All right, and that's no fun for anyone. All right, and yeah, this. All right, because if she's doing this, you better be doing that. All right. Well, this is heavy energy, so we might as well have some fun with it, because success is indicated if you do that. And that's what this card is all about. All right. If you want this, you better do that. Sitting next to the Hierophant. And again, this is Taurus energy. This is our earth energy. And this is that no matter how charismatic you are, no matter how charismatic your new person is, none of you are exempt from sin. Sitting above a card with the devil in the background. You do the math. We're adults here. No compromises. All right, and this card is just indicating, look, choose a like-minded person this time, somebody who's into the same stuff you're into, that they're not going to have blackmail over you, or, and both ends, quite frankly. Maybe, you were the one who was doing more for this or that, and your counterpart wasn't. This card, even though it's two women, it's indicating, look, find someone who's like-minded, who's into the same things you're into in the bedroom, so that you don't have to worry about somebody blackmailing you, and because they think it's fun too. They don't think it's weird, and they're into it. And you won't have to defend your choices in the future, because, you both are on the same page. It's what you're into. And this next card is also warning you against intense lust and greed and selfishness, right? Sitting above a card that's telling you not to be selfish, sitting next to a card that has the devil in it and about new experiences. And this one is saying, look, don't, and again, cards are indicating, don't rush this new relationship with stuff. You got to take your time. You learned your mistakes. Pick somebody who's like you, who's not going to screw you over, who's going to reciprocate what you want, but you still need to get to know this person. And then we have the Eight of Wands, or the Eight of Penises. I guess that's what it is in this card. Because you want commitment this time. All right. And that's your objective, emotional and physical commitment. Nobody's cheating. Nobody's lying. Nobody's wearing a false mask. Nobody's going to have to manipulate you, or vice versa. It's going to be mutual and equal. And you're both going to be into the same things because you're going to take things slow and get to know one another. Find out what each other likes are. And then you're going to have to reciprocate it. All right? Because this one's all about fighting. All right? So you are still going to, this card indicates that towards the end of the month, you are going to have another fight with your ex. All right? Probably over the children or your separation. Don't worry about your reputation. Everybody goes through this. This is life. All right? It would be weird if everything was cartwheels and lollipops and cartwheels at this point, right? So the Five of Wands is about a couple fighting and disputes and overcoming obstacles. Okay, so yeah, there is going to be a little bump in the road, unfortunately, because it's sitting next to a card that's about immediate affairs and too much lust, sitting, kitty corner to another one that was about too much lust. And this one is about consequences, which is probably what the fighting was about. Yeah. But, I was so happy when I pulled the Nine of Pentacles because even though this is a newer deck for me, I knew what this card meant. A pleasant surprise, all right? And this commitment that you're looking for, this new beginning that you're having with someone, even a year from now, you're going to be together because this is indication of a long-term fulfilling relationship. Is that what you're into, by the way? She's blindfolded. Well, this indicates that you're going to be with somebody who's like-minded. All right, so what are some other confirmation cards? Well, you are going to overcome those obstacles, so that's good news. You are going to ascend and preparing for union, and this one says that this union is going to be good. Your twin flame relationship is going to be committed. You're both going to be into the same thing sexually. You're going to have that relationship change and a rebirth, which is great because it sounds like everybody needs it. But first you have to have that meeting and friendship. That's what I love about pumping the brakes. Start off with friends. What's wrong with that? Shouldn't your lover be your best friend? Yeah, so they're there for you during the hard times too. It's not all about sex. So this is going to be unconditional loving. Love it. Giving and receiving affection. Well, isn't that what this card is about? Wow, look at that. It's sitting right next to this one. And this one's about kissing, and so is this one. Yeah, the universe is behind this. Yeah, so get rid of that outdated thinking and conditioning and replaying events over in your head. That's what this is all about. All right? And quit stringing people along. These one-night stands are what got you into this trouble to begin with, all right? All right. Well, thanks so much, Taurus, Capricorns, and Virgos, my earth signs. I hope you enjoyed your March forecast. We'll see you next month. Love and light. Bye.